to the PNC Newsgirls. Mia.
And Maya, reading the news 6 days a week because you're too lazy.
Friday, July 21st, 2023.
Okay. The sacrifice of an individual existence is necessary in order to assure the conservation of the race. Hence it is that the most essential condition for the establishment and maintenance of the state is a certain feeling of solidarity, grounded in an identity of character and race, and in readiness to defend these all at all costs. Adolf Hitler. I almost didn't stutter the whole thing.
Close, you're getting so close. Anyways, this is the start of our quarterly donation drive. We need $100 this quarter to pay for annual domain registration and quarterly server costs. Thank you for your donations. Donation methods and addresses have been updated. Bitcoin and Monero addresses will change quarterly. Amazon gift cards are now accepted. We're only going to be doing those for a week, so give us money.
Please.
Alright, quick WorldCoin CEO global digital currency tied to global digital ID will soon be required whether you like it or not.
Never.
The CEO of WorldCoin has warned that a global digital ID system will be ushered in for citizens around the world whether they like it or not. WorldCoin has developed a system that it pitches as the world's largest identity and financial public network. Essentially, the company has created a database that links digital cash, or central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, with a digital identity system.
Yeah. Transgender Assistant Secretary of Health Rachel Levine claims children can go through the wrong puberty and argues gender-affirming care for kids is evidence-based, despite critics.
They physically can't have that.
So you're telling me that they can't drink, they can't drive, they can't vote, but they can get a life-altering surgery that isn't required. You know, it's not required.
It's not like you'll die without it.
Like, they can't get tattoos or piercings. Yeah, technically they can get piercings, but they can't get tattoos. You have to be 18 to get tattoos.
Yeah.
They can get a tattoo, which is another, like,
permanent
thing, except they can fade, and you can get them removed.
But
yeah, they could do something even more permanent.
Yep. That's true.
Several months ago, Levine delivered a speech in which he... Oh, wait, are they trans?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. Oh, I completely forgot. Which he promised that medically changing children's gender will soon be normalized, praising the controversial medical intervention which has been banned in several states. I can say that the children that you serve, the young people that you serve, their families, and you all have support at the highest levels of the federal government. President Biden supports you. I, as the Assistant Secretary for Health, will support you, and I talk about this topic everywhere I go to get the word out, he said at the
pediatric
Grand Round session at Children's Medical Care Center in Hartford. No!
Israel moves ahead with the bill removing checks on government action. Why government? I don't understand what that is. The Knesset said in a statement that 9 members of the committee voted in favor of the law which prevents the Supreme Court from dealing with decisions made by elected officials, while the 7 members opposed it. However, the bill, which is part of the controversial judicial reform plan, will still be voted on in a second and third reading before it becomes law, which, according to the Times of Israel, is expected to be approved and passed into law on Monday or Tuesday.
When I'm reading, I keep catching the gifs out of a corner of my eye and having to look, and then I'm gonna go back to reading, but then I'll forget where I am.
Yeah.
Because they're so distracting. IRS steps towards new free file tax return system have both supporters and critics mobilizing. Washington AP. An IRS plan to test drive a new electronic free file tax return system next year has got supporters and critics of the idea mobilizing to sway the public and Congress over whether the government should set up a permanent program to help people file their taxes without needing to pay somebody else to figure out what they owe. On one side, civil society groups this week launched a coalition to promote the move towards a government-run free file program. On the other hand, tax preparation firms like Intuit, the parent company of TurboTax, and H&R Block have been pouring millions into trying to stop the idea cold. The advocacy groups are exponentially out... what? Modded? What? I don't know. Imagine if taxes just told you how much you owe.
Amazon, Google, Meta, Microsoft, and other tech firms agreed to AI safeguards set by the White House. The White House said Friday that it has secured voluntary commitments from 7 U.S. companies meant to ensure their AI products are safe before they release them. Some of the commitments called for third-party oversight of the workings of commercial AI systems, though they don't detail who will audit the technology or hold the companies accountable.
Okay. Northeast floods devastate farmers as months of labor and crops are swept away. As of the end of last week, Vermont farmers have reported 7,000 acres, 2,833 headacres? I don't know, nobody knows that measurement anyway. In crop damage. Tebbets said, adding many farmers must clear debris washed onto their fields when rivers overflowed. In Massachusetts, at least 75 farmers have been hurt by the flooding, with about 2,000 acres, I'm not reading that again, in crop losses at a minimum value of $15 million, according to the State Department of
Agricultural.
Okay, that doesn't look like No, it actually does. I'm joking. Resources. That number is expected to climb as more damage is assessed and the longer-term impact sets in.
Alright.
Poor farmers.
Silent emergency. The rise in suicides among UK doctors. Around the world, doctors are 2 to 5 times more likely than the general population to die by suicide, with female and junior doctors especially high risk. The most recent data from the Office of National Statistics indicate that in the UK alone, 72 medical professionals, including doctors, nurses, therapy professionals, dentists, and midwives, took their own lives in 2020. That is more than 1 per week. Suicide is also rife among nurses. More than 360 attempted suicide in 2022.
I want to know something. So anytime somebody attempts suicide, how did you fail? Did you not have the willpower? Did you try to bleed out and somebody found you?
Yeah, it could be a multitude of things.
I'm always curious. Grassley releases bombshell. FBI doc discussing 10 million. Why is it 2 M's? I've never seen it mark million with 2 M's.
I don't know.
10 million Biden bribe. Burisma boss at Hunter dumber than his dog. The document, a FD1023 form, also alleges that the boss of Burisma, I don't know, a Ukrainian energy firm which employed Hunter Biden to the tune of $80,000 per month, thought Hunter was a moron. Hunter Biden was stupid in his... Nope. What?
In his...
Exactly, how do you say that? Dog was smarter, but the Burisma boss needed to keep Hunter Biden on the board, so everything will be okay. I'm trying to figure out what this means.
I don't know, man. Breaking. Rand Paul criminally refers dark... Oh my gosh, my brain and my mouth aren't communicating properly today. Okay. Breaking. Rand Paul criminally refers Dr. Fauci to DOJ for prosecution for lying to Congress about gain of function. Rand Paul told Breitbart News Daily there is further evidence...
Bart?
What?
You forgot the Brett.
Breitbart.
I didn't hear the Brett. I just heard
News
Bart.
Daily. There is further evidence Fauci lied to Congress about gain of function in light of a newly surfaced 2020 email summarizing Fauci's phone call. This This is when they're just beginning to look into the pandemic. And in that email, he basically says, yes, we're suspicious that this could be a manipulated virus because it came from a lab in Wuhan. Where they do gain of function research, he said. And he describes the research, Paul said. Oh my gosh. My brain doesn't work properly.
DeSantis PAC uses AI-generated Trump voice in new advertisement. A section of the advertisement uses AI-generated voice that unsuccessfully mimics President Trump's voice tones. I don't know. The AI voice actually sounds rather stilted and robotic. But the advertisement doesn't state explicitly that it isn't Trump's voice, and perhaps the casual listener will be deceived. The text of the utterances, I don't know, is purposely based on President Trump's post on his social media site, Truth Social.
Okay, monkey column. Kenya being swamped with waste clothing. Kenya is being swamped with waste clothing from other continents. A report by the Changing Markets Foundation claims. The report, based on findings by the Kenyan environmental groups Wildlife and Clean Up Kenya, says that an overwhelming volume of used clothing shipped to Kenya is waste synthetic clothing. Okay then.
Irate, is that how you say it?
Yeah, irate.
Moviegoer pummels 63-year-old man in Florida AMC theater over VIP seat beef. An irate moviegoer was caught on tape pummeling a fellow patron over a seat in a Florida theater earlier this month, authorities said. The unidentified suspect appeared to throw numerous punches at a 63-year-old man who stumbled to the ground during part of the unhinged attack on July 10th, according to footage released by the Broward County Sheriff's Office.
Tupac Shakur police raid revives fan theories about former prime suspect in rapper's 1996 murder. On Monday, cops seized copies of a book by Southside Compton Crips gang member Dune Keith Davis, 60, aka Keith D, the uncle of Orlando Baby Lane Anderson, who police once named as the prime suspect in Shakur's murder. I don't know.
Mr. Anderson?
Mr. Anderson.
Black Portland woman, 23, with history of anti-Asian attacks, is arrested for shoving top Japanese diplomat to the ground in crime-ridden city. Yoshioka, 62, the consul general in Portland's consular, I don't know what that is, offices of Japan, was jumped by Arisa Jean Mignon Robertson. Who needs that many names? 23. In a random attack in Oregon's crime-ridden capital, court reports allege.
Okay, we're gonna follow on. BRICS Summit issues special resolution in favor of Palestine. BRICS, a bloc comprising Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, issued a resolution following its conference in South African capital Pretoria yesterday, calling for the implementation of United Nations and UN Security Council resolutions related to the Palestinian issue, including Resolution No. 2334, the settlement of the Palestinian-Israeli conflict within the framework of the two-state solution by establishing a Palestinian state with East Jerusalem as the capital.
State. Not state.
No, state, whatever. Okay.
The dog that showed more humanity than man. Abandoned newborn baby, left to be eaten by wild animals, is saved by stray that carries it to safety. The animal is said to have found the baby girl in a garbage bag at the town hall in Lebanon's northern city of Tripoli on Wednesday. The dog had been dragging the bag with the newborn inside, and a passerby heard a crying sound coming from it, the national reports. The baby was taken to the Islamic hospital before being transferred to the Tripoli government hospital.
That's a certified good pupper.
Certified good pupper.
Certified good pupper.
Good pupper.
Yes. Biden's Afghanistan Taliban used tasers, guns against women, demanding legal beauty salons. Dozens of women made a rare show of defiance against the brutal Taliban regime in Afghanistan's capital of Kabul on Wednesday, marching against the ban on beauty salons issued early this month by the extremist government. The regime responded by dispatching thugs to disperse the women with fire hoses, tasers, and gunfire. Well, that's extreme.
Very.
You get to get through it.
Really? AI will bring. How do you say this? I'm just going to say, read it yourself! The latest advances in artificial intelligence could soon lead things that are alive and dating sites being flooded with realistic AI avatars. Former Google X chief business official Mo Gaudat has claimed.
Did you say a fisher?
Mm-hmm.
A fisher?
Where?
You said a fisher instead of officer.
Oh, well, anyway, he deserves the title of fisher.
Alright, thank you for listening to me.
And I read the poll of the Central homepage. Do all the good things and donate to the Quarterly Drive.
And go back tomorrow for a second.